Billy squeezed his eyes shut. The words of the riddle echoed in his mind. What had teeth but could not bite? He had to find the answer. His life depended on it. Billy opened his eyes and looked around the forest. The trees seemed to press in on him, their branches like grasping claws. He was lost and alone. He had been walking for hours trying to find his way home. Then he stumbled upon the clearing. And the goblin. The goblin was a gruesome creature, small and wiry, with pointed ears and a wicked grin. It held a glowing orb in its hand, and its eyes glittered with malice. "Answer my riddle," the goblin rasped, its voice like dry leaves skittering across stone, "and you may pass. Fail, and you will join my collection." The goblin gestured with a gnarled finger to a pile of bones behind him. Billy's blood ran cold. He had to solve the riddle. He racked his brain, but the answer wouldn't come. Fear choked him, making it hard to think. What had teeth but couldn't bite? The goblin chuckled, a dry, brittle sound. "Time is running out, boy," it hissed. The orb in its hand pulsed ominously. Billy shut his eyes, bracing himself for the end. "What's going on here?" a voice boomed through the clearing. Billy opened his eyes. A tall figure stood at the edge of the clearing, silhouetted against the dying light. It was Joe Bart, his leather jacket slung over one shoulder, a confident smirk playing on his lips. Joe was known throughout the land for his quick wit and fearlessness. The goblin spun around, its eyes burning with fury. "This is none of your business, human," it snarled. "Leave now or face the consequences." Joe Bart chuckled, unfazed by the goblin's threats. "I never could resist a good riddle," he said, his eyes twinkling with amusement. He strode into the clearing, every movement radiating confidence and strength. "Tell me, what has teeth but cannot bite?" Joe asked, his voice calm and steady. The goblin, caught off guard by Joe's sudden appearance, repeated the riddle. Joe didn't hesitate. "A comb," he declared, his voice ringing with certainty. The effect was instantaneous. The glowing orb in the goblin's hand flickered and died. The goblin itself let out an ear-splitting shriek and vanished in a puff of smoke. Billy looked up at Joe, his eyes wide with gratitude. "You saved me," he whispered, his voice trembling with relief. Joe smiled down at him, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "A little quick thinking can solve even the deadliest of riddles," he said, his eyes twinkling. And as they walked out of the clearing together, Billy knew he'd never forget the day Joe Bart's bravery and wit saved him from a terrible fate.